Okay, good morning. So, let me have the form for you to sign first because we will have the recording. So, wait a moment. So, this form. We have the statement you can check, and if you want to tap the codes, and finally you think everything's okay, then you can sign. Because we will have the recording and we will have activities, of course. I ask you to check the form, and if you think everything's okay, then you can sign on the form. And the first one, of course, is your name and any name. So it should be a clear name for the second item. And affiliation. If you are a student of computer science, then you just use CSIE, NTUST, or maybe if you want to mention your department of your school, sure, you can write on the third item. And date, today is September 1st. Of course, you can check, and later I will collect these during the post break. Well, so first of all, I already have the form. And later we will have some possible QR code for you to scan to join the classes. About the syllabus, I already know the lecturer first. It's me, right? If you want to go to my office here, it's a T4 building. All right, it's T4 building. And room number is 506. In fact, I don't have the current email, CSIE. If I notify something from Moodle, then it should be mail. Alright, so I expect you to send me email to CSIE. And next one, Moodle will have a mail. Alright, so Moodle will have my ID at mail.ntust.edu.tw. Either one, you can reach me. But normally I expect you to send me email to CSIE. It will be a stable one. So that's why I expect you to send me to this account. And later I will ask you to join the line group for the course. So I provide the line ID of mine to you. It's this one. Send us the ID for my email. Of course, you can log in Moodle to download the PPT slides, or maybe if you join the line group, possibly I can share the PDF file for you through the line group. Well, about the office hour, I set it to Tuesday. That says if indeed you want to come to my office, and you can use this office hour. Or maybe you can send me an email to have an appointment so that I will stay in my office. Well, first of all, we will have a recording, and possibly I try to provide you some videos. And if you want to have the automatic alerts, then you can scan the QR code and join. Okay, so this is the YouTube channel. We will have two TAs. And if you want to find them, you can try to make a phone call. The extension number here, 7321. And of course, I asked the two TAs join the line group. In fact, they are in the line group already. All right, so you can have some possible a question there, and then if they want to to address your issue, then they can respond. The line group, and later I will get you join the line group. All right, so this one, I think you can join now, or maybe you can use the syllabus to join the YouTube channel later. Well, line group, I think this one you should join right now, and then you can have some message sharing, right? Messaging. It is slide sharing, interactive feedback. Perhaps you have some question to the course, and then I will respond, or maybe the TA will respond. And sometimes we will have an activity. And in fact, this one, possibly to confirm. If you want to have the maybe double channel, you can use this one to indicate, oh, you are the representative or the presenter for some activity. Sometimes we want to check who is the presenter for the activity, and so that you can receive the points of the bonus. If you want to have a different channel, you can use line group. But normally, we will ask you to have the direct indication later for the next platform. So, line group. For all of you, you should join, right? So, anyone has the problem to join line group? Yes or no? No, right? Okay. And in fact, we will use this platform, Pilot. And Pilot actually is an electronic wall. Electronic wall, something like right now we have the content projected here. And likewise, I use Padlet here. And so that your group can have the possible content to share. And so that the content will share on the platform. In fact, I always use a projector to show your content. However, I will create the Padlet for you, and so that you can share. For all groups, including, for example, initially we will have the presenter. And this presenter will share the content. And this semester I try to organize so that we may have multiple sections. Maybe I call it section for group 1, section for group 2, section for the other groups. And if you are the presenter, for example, for group 1, then you will share your content after the discussion with your group members. And why I use this one? Because if you can have your own content here, and all of the members can check. And so that we can help some of the students who cannot understand some of maybe the content delivered by some of you, maybe by me, and so that they can understand the content. So for this purpose, I use Padlet. Right? So line group, I think right now it's okay. It's very simple, no problem. Padlet, actually you can search. Right now you can try to search. Use the key term Padlet and try to use, for example, use your Gmail. And so that you can have the account for Padlet. Alright, so next time you can join, and if I have some possible activity on Padlet, you can receive the email. And so that you know, okay, I have some notification for you from Padlet. Alright, and what kind of, oh sorry, here that should be deleted. Alright, for some reason I forgot to delete this. It's Padlet, not the Skype. So all presenter and student need to scan the QR code once I get it have. How I can have the QR code? For example, we have an activity, then I can show the QR code on the page. Or maybe I try to copy the hyperlink of the activity to you. Because we have a possible activity, and each activity will be associated with a QR code. So right now, we don't have the permanent QR code for you to scan. No. So that's why no QR code here. We will have good discussions. Oh, the other one, the simple one, I call it thin pair share discussion. And so that you can have the discussion. And how it looks like, right now I try to use I call the standing page. Alright, I call the standing page. And today maybe we don't have the possible group, but for each class I will bring these. Here we have a group 1, and possibly we have group 2. Maybe group 2 here. And group 3 and the others. Alright, so because of the possible discussions, so we will have the groups. And how to have the groups, later we will have the way of the regulation for you to form the groups. If in the past, I have the permanent formation of the groups, but I was suggested to have the dynamic groups. So this semester I plan to have the rotation of group members every 3 weeks. So for the first 3 weeks, we have actually the fixed groups. But after that one, then we will change. So every 3 groups, we will have the member change for the groups. Later, I will mention how we have the formation of the groups. Well, so we will have the activity using the group or the thin pair shell discussions. Because of this, we will have the groups. And we will ask you to show the content. And so that we have the electronic wall for sharing. For sharing only on the board here. No, actually you can use your Padlet. You can share the content freely. So that's why I use the platform Padlet. So it's not this. All right, it should be this. And about the QR code, we will show it for the activity. So right now, no permanent QR code for you to scan. Well, and last one, because I will collect some of the activity. Previously, we have the group discussion. So you will show the content there. Specifically for the presenter, you need to show. And actually, for the group discussion, finally you will have your answer, right? And also, I will push all of you to show your content on Padlet later. Or maybe after classes, I still allow you to have a few hours to finish uploading your content to Padlet. But sometimes we will have an instant response system. You see, instant, right? And instant response system, I set it to the, for example, maybe some quick checking for understanding, or maybe some for attendance. Attendance means you come here and I want to check. Are you here? So we will have attendance checking. And we will have two possible categories about the activity. Attendance, all right, we will have a way to show the points of attendance and activity. And here we may have some quick checking for understanding. So about that one, we will have the points for the activity. And activity, later I call it the participants, right? So you join the activity, including these short activities, so participation. So later we will have a category called participation. Well, about this kind of system, yes, we have the permanent QR code. And right now, yeah, you can try and scan the QR code so that you can reach Paul everywhere. And Paul everywhere there, then you can register using, for example, using your Gmail as well. So you can always use your Gmail. Well, up to now, maybe you have a question. Oh, we have YouTube. So if you want to have the automatic alert, sure, you can subscribe to my channel. And we have a line group. If you join already, no problem. You can receive the message on line group. And we have a pilot. Right now, we don't have an activity there. So no QR code for you to check. But IIS using Paul article is true. I have the permanent account, so you can scan these. And actually, if we have the Paul article activity, yes, this one. Even I show you the QR code for the activity. It's the current QR code. So the same. All right, so the same. So for this one, if you think you want to have the account for Paul article, you can check this one, and then you can have the registration. So you can have your own account. So that's why I provide you the QR code. But sometimes if you fail to have to reach the entry of Paul article, you can try to key in these. I have the fixed account, so you can have this account. All right. So we have those systems. So that's why I ask you to have the account for those systems. All right, so up now, let me match you quickly about the four. It should be four. YouTube, one, and the line, second. Pilot, right now, maybe you can have the registration for your account. And finally, it's Paul article. We have a four system. And maybe you think right now we have four. Up to now, you don't think you are familiar with all the four platforms, but that's okay. Try to be familiar with the four systems, specifically for my four systems. Well, up to now, any questions? I assume no questions. So let me share the remaining content for you. In the following, I will let you know the course of learning objectives. Introduction to computer networking. So, what kind of objective you expect? So you can think about your objective, and I then have the objectives here. So at the end of the course, I expect you can have the following objectives. First of all, of course, then you have the concept of computer networks. So you should have the concept that says you can identify the concept delivered. Of course, I expect you to apply or maybe modify them if in the future you want to apply this concept to some advanced or specific application. And also, I expect you to assess the system so that you can maybe have some possible performance evaluation. Of course, if you can have the performance evaluation, possibly you can have the performance comparison. So the second one, you can assess the system through performance evaluation and comparison. And the third one actually, we can have the evaluation, but can we have the mathematical approach? Possibly, I provide you this as well. And finally, about networking, in chapter 2, we have a discussion about how we can have the circuit programming. So finally, for the final project, I expect you to set your topic and so that you can have the circuit programming program. And for all of you know, for the goods. And the goods actually not the same as the goods for the discussion because we will rotate. But this good finally, it should be fixed so you can find your own good for the circuit programming program. Well, so I list four objectives for you to serve as the objective of the cross-learning objectives. Of course, for this one, for the final project, you will have these, and you need to hand in a report. And to hand in the report, I expect you to have the short discussion. And so that you will have 8 to 10 minute presentation. Well, maybe for some experts, they think, okay, to push the student to have the presentation in front of all students, maybe that activity make you nervous, but I still expect you to have the presentation. So we will have the presentation for the final project. Well, after that, I think you understand this is an EMI course, and maybe you feel, some of you feel, okay, I'm so lucky to join the EMI course. Yeah, maybe. For example, international students, you think, okay, it's a chance for you to understand the content if you can join an EMI course, right? And for Taiwanese, maybe you don't think so, because you don't have the right to join non-EMI course for this one. You are pushed to join this one, am I right? But I think it's a chance for you because you can have a possible environment for you to learn. Even you think, okay, joining an EMI course, you need to have more effort. But later I want to have the grading policy. I try to change the style of learning to some activity-based learning. So I will reduce the percentage of exams, midterm and final exam to 21% for midterm and the final exam. So I try to emphasize, I try to follow our learning way to learn this course. Specifically, I try to push you to join the activities and take it easy. And also, I try to have a reference of distribution of grades for the final grades for your reference. And so that you will feel, okay, sure, try to follow me and try to take it easy. Well, it's EMI oriented course, so I already have a PPT slides. Up to now, if you register the course, so you can download the PPT slides from Moodle. Or maybe later after classes, I can upload the PPT slides to our line group for your reference. And of course, I already have the videos. Videos actually, after classes, up to now, I have the streaming. So if you want to review immediately, you can try to find the stream videos on my YouTube channel. So if you want to review, you can use that video. And in fact, I have the recorded video through the Sony camera. And I try to ask the TA to provide captions or maybe subtitles. And this semester, I try to have a new one to have, if everything is okay, I try to ask TA to have the subtitle in Chinese, in English. So bilingual subtitles, possibly. So I have the new trial to that you have the video, and so you can have two languages, Chinese and English. So if you want to check subtitles, you can that one, and so that you can review, and possibly you can understand that as well. All right, so I already have the related or auxiliary videos. And actually, I already have that video for preview, and so that you can join the activity in flipped classroom style. Well, I should confess, maybe a year ago, I tried to use this style. Maybe most of you think, okay, we have the heavy burden, so you don't think it's good. And this semester, I tried to select some. And what kind of material I tried to use this classroom style to that you have the video for preview. The simple one, right? Simple one, so it's easy. And then you will feel, okay, even you miss it, but you still can maybe find some key terms to know the content. So the simple one. And next one, I try to have at least maybe the advanced one. Maybe it's a harder one. And harder one you will check it, but sometimes I will try to rethink about that one. Should I have some content for that in the exam? The chance is really low. All right, so I try to have the two possible types of video to serve as a video for the flipped classroom style. And so that you won't think it's a heavy burden, because sometimes you miss it, you still can catch up, or maybe some you think it's really hard. So maybe the professor think, okay, it's really hard, so maybe I will found to have some problem there. All right, but I will have the activity associated with the video. Of course, you should go through the video, and maybe I will have the simple checking and serving as the activities. So I will have the video maybe after classes, or maybe yes, I will provide you the video before you come to the classroom, and so that you will have the flipped classroom style. So I try to select some, and so that the percentage of preview of a video will be a bit lower. But maybe I set it to, for example, if I try to use the content of lecturing, maybe lower than 20%. All right, lower than 20%. Well, EMR, so you need to learn in your second language. Even for some international students, yes, your second language. And can you have the discussion privately in Chinese? I think it's okay, it's up to you. But we expect you to have the possible discussion in English. So we expect, I emphasize, we expect, all right? We expect you to have the discussion in English, all right? And you try to do your best. And finally, if you think, okay, I failed to have the direct discussion in English, it's okay. That's okay, because you can have your own way to have the discussion. But if you are a presenter, of course, I expect you to have the content delivery in English, possibly. All right. Sometimes you feel, okay, well, I want to mention something in Chinese. I think feel free. All right, feel free, but do your best to deliver your content in English. All right. So video that you know we can have the review video, and also sometimes I already have the preview video for the classroom style. This time I emphasize we have 3 classroom style learning and teaching, right? So you should understand we have this style, and if you plan for me, okay, why I have 3 classroom style? I already know the reason. Because the time should be controlled properly. So some content I should change it to this style. And so that we can get it have the content I schedule for the semester. Right? Alright, so EMI, so you should understand this. Well, because I changed the style of learning to the participation oriented one. So we have a participation including assessment. And we want to have a groups, you know. And currently maybe I set it to 5 to 8. I think it's possible 5 to 8. And we can have the group discussion, so you should have the discussion to have the presentation. And final oral presentation, you should walk within your group, and finally you will maybe set some of you to have the presentation. And as for how to have the preparation, later we will let you know how to have the preparation. And in fact, I have some principles. So just want to serve as a presenter, maybe you can consider. Finally, maybe you will change your mind. Okay, maybe all of you to have the presenter because you want to have more points there. Later, I can show you the way to grade for the oral presentation and the way to grade the final report. So you will know how to set your role of the presentation or to have the preparation for the final report. Well, if I will have a poll article, I will have the Padlet to collect the points for you so that I can show the points for participation. Well, 7% for the final oral presentation. So you should to take care of this well. And actually 15% for participation assessment. If you serve as a presenter, sure, you need to have the presentation in English. All right. Well, this is the YouTube channel. So I just want to let you know. In fact, I have the YouTube stream. So sometimes if you fail to join, is it okay? That's fine. If you want to join from home, that's fine. If you are sick, or maybe if you have some specific reason why you want to join, so you can use this channel. And in the past, I tried to use, for example, Skype Teams. This semester, I abandoned Teams, Skype. Why I abandoned Skype? Retired, right? But Teams, sometimes I think we have the heavy burden of network resources. So this time I abandoned Teams. Instead, I asked you to have the electronic world using pattern. And also, I will ask the presenter to have the presentation. And possibly you can stay there or maybe come to here. And so that you can have the sharing for your own content. Well, about this, I think that's fine. And normally, I expect you to come here because it's easy for you to join the activity. And if you are sick and if you want to join with your team member, maybe you think about how. Because we will have the member rotation every 3 weeks. So if you want to do so, you need to know how to have your own groups for the discussion. Well, task force here. About task force, according to the past experience, I'm not sure you want to buy it or not. But finally, the percentage is really low. However, I still expect you, if you have the chance to buy the textbook, sure, you can do that one. But it's up to you. All right. Why? Maybe for some of you, you can let me know. For some reason, you can find it on the internet. Sure, if you want to use it, you can try to find it. But if you want to buy it, welcome to buy the textbook. And the textbook that you have for the online website to check some of the content, including some of the resources provided by maybe the authors of the textbook, or provided by the publisher. The publisher here is Pearson. So you can check the hyperlink here. And in fact, I already have the DVD slides, even in PDF, you still can check the hyperlink, and so that you can know how to reach it. Or maybe if you fail to reach it, you can use Google or the other search engine, then you can find it as well. So you can try to check the resources provided by the publisher or by the authors. Well, I want to emphasize this version. Why? Because what I have for the problem sets for the self-exercise. So you should follow this action, not the other actions. The other additions. Well, about reference, you can check the tools if necessary. And previous edition, or maybe by combine to have computer networks. Well, so previously I already have some of the description, including the objectives, and maybe I already have the activity specifically. All I want to ask you to keep in mind 3 classroom style included in the learning way of the course. Well, about technical grading, I already have these items. Well, maybe you think, okay, it seems to be we have, it doesn't mean many, but a bit more. However, at least I want to ask you to know final report, serving as an activity. Final orientation, yes, activity. Participation, activity. Attendance, activity. So, maybe 4 types of activity. All right, so you try to use your way to have the possible grade. And if I treat 20 almost the same as 10, then almost even distribution among these items. And about the midterm exam, later you can check the you can check the calendar, and then I have the schedule day for the midterm exam. Finally, schedule day for the final exam. So you can follow that schedule, and hopefully we can follow the schedule pattern. And you can always check the schedule, and so that you will know when we will have a midterm exam and final exam, when we have the quiz, number 1, 2 to 3. All right, so if you think we have some testing, midterm exam, final exam, and quizzes. Right. And should we have the homework? No. I will not have for the self-exercise. And we have some problem for self-exercise. And self-exercise possibly serving as a possible problem sources for quizzes for the final exam, for the midterm exam. All right. And you can have your own exercise for the self-exercise problem set. And while that you have the solution maybe approximately a week later, once I think it's time for you to release the solution. Well, I still want to re-emphasize, even we have a bit more, maybe a bit more, but it's easy because it's activity. You just need to put the effort to all the items here, and then I think you will have your possibly are called reward. You join, so you will have a reward, and simply points of a reward, and so that you can accumulate your reward, and then we will have the way for the details of grading. But I will let you have the reference first. This is a previous semester, and this is a distribution of grades, A plus and the others. And of course, it doesn't mean we always have the identical distribution, but it's a reference for you. So check it first. And let me have a few minutes for discussion, because right now I let you know all the content and without any stop time for you to discuss. So let me have a few minutes to feel free to discuss with your neighbors. And of course, if any question later, then you can let me know. And also, I tell you, be familiar with the timer setting, right? Because for some activity, I should set the timer for you, or otherwise, the time control will be bad. So I bring the timer for you. So be familiar with the timer setting. And I let you have 3 minutes for free to discuss with anyone, including your members, or maybe later you can share how to form the groups. I think even in black, so A plus is almost 18%. I don't think we'll have the same distribution, so you should understand it. That you know, okay, even we have some quizzes, but if I think we need to have the reasonable distribution, I will recalculate some points. Right. But for some of activity, I accumulate the points for you. So for those parts, it won't change. However, for quizzes, possibly I may recalculate. For example, final or midterm exam, if the distribution of scores is not so reasonable, then I will recalculate possibly and let you know. And finally, about the final score, maybe I will change it so that it's possible to meet the possible distribution like this. Okay, feel free to have the discussion. So you see, we will have the alarm from the timer, and then that says time's up. And time's up sometimes I will rethink about more time or not. If, okay, that's it, then start to upload maybe your answer or something else. Right? For example, for particular, I will move on to the next one so that no time for you to join that activity. So you should understand we have the time control. If we have the activity, you should join immediately. Specifically for particular, you should join in time and so that you can join the activity. Alright, so I already have for this one. And maybe you can try to find A plus A minus, and the others. Maybe for most of you, you care about D and E, right? E, maybe for some reason, he or she failed to join the code, so maybe 10%. They don't care, so 2%. And D here is 7%. So finally, maybe lower than 10%. All right. If I want to have the estimation, the percentage of those who fail to pass the course, lower than 10%. And you can try to find A minus how many? Maybe more than 30%. So if I want to have further explanation about A minus, above A minus, it should be 35, right? 35%. So based on the reference pie chart of the grade distribution of previous semester, to stay here or maybe you want to reconsider, it's up to you. All right, so let me start here and then later we will continue. And before we take a rest, any questions? If no, take a rest. And if you finish this form, then you can return the form to me. Okay, thank you.